Your life happens by you. If you assume that you're in control of determining the outcomes of your life, you will naturally work hard. You're not going to hold back any punches. All right, you're going to commit to the process of learning new things. You most certainly are not going to be governed by having your opinion heard or trying to get your preferences met, because you've got to understand that everyone else in the world is just interested in having their preferences met and having their opinions heard. All right, at this stage of your life, you might even consider becoming a contributor rather than just a consumer. All right, whoa, there's a big idea. All right, a little bit mental toughness is required. Because life happens through you, ain't this the truth? Can you see it as we step up? Right, I want to get you up into a higher level of thinking pretty pronto. Life happens through me. That is true. I am here for a reason. You're here for a reason. You might be saying, no, I'm not. I don't believe in that. All right, okay, hang around in the gutter. See how that works out for you. For those who are willing to entertain this idea, let's go on this journey together. The journey to becoming untouchable. Life happens through me. You're here for a reason. You've got a purpose. Everything that hasn't killed you has only made you stronger. All right, come on. There's a lot of people who go through life saying things like, I have trauma. I'm traumatized. Mummy and Daddy never loved me in the way that I wanted them to love me back when I was a child. Daddy dropped me on my head. Mummy never gave me enough cuddles. My teacher never patted me on the shoulder and gave me enough gold stars. My friends called me names. I didn't get the job that I wanted. I failed my exams. A nasty man done something nasty to me, and for that reason, I'm traumatized. Not understanding that which doesn't kill us can only make us stronger. I'm being straight. Am I preaching yet? Am I preaching yet? Am I getting in your face yet? Am I provoking you to become a bit more elevated in your thinking? That which hasn't killed you has made you stronger. If you continue to perpetually focus on all of those things in the past that you didn't like, I'd feel sad if I was focusing on the doom and gloom and all the people didn't love me and didn't give me cuddles back when I was young. I didn't get too many cuddles. My daddy wasn't interested in me. My daddy never told me he was proud. I don't have any daddy issues. I got over it back in my 20s. Took me a while, I'll be honest with you. Took a little bit of self-reflection and personal growth to make peace with that kind of stuff, but I got there in the end. Therefore, it's possible. But maybe you did go through a traumatic experience. Maybe a doctor's told you you've got post-traumatic stress disorder or something like that. Well, either you have post-traumatic stress disorder, you have this disease, or you just had a tough and challenging life experience that you haven't made peace with yet. It's one of the two. Guess what? You get to decide. Or maybe you've decided that the doctor gets to decide, or the mental health professional gets to decide. You have the final say in the matter. But if life happens through you, then you're here for a reason. Which means that perhaps, instead of all those challenging circumstances that you've been through in the past, some people who would define themselves as being traumatized will say, I've had such a challenging past. You've got no idea how hard things were for me. My life experience is unique. No one else has experienced what I've experienced in life, and my experience is crushing because I'm holding on to my story like it's a 10-ton weight and it's so heavy and it's so tiresome. But you know what sensible men and women do? They stop carrying the weight, because yesterday is history and tomorrow is a mystery and today is a gift that most people just simply don't appreciate. So they stop carrying around their traumatic experiences, they put them on the floor, they step on them and say, what hasn't killed me has made me stronger. I've lived to tell the tale. There's some people going through life right now who are going through the same or similar experiences. Guess what? I can become a source of hope and inspiration for them. Because if you're focusing on the past, wallowing in self-pity, you have no appreciation for the life that you have today. Get over yourself. Get over yourself. Okay, provocative, I get it, but come on, I'm here to wake you up, right? I come in peace, I'm friend, not foe. I'm on your side, but I'm here to get you out of the gutter of life and into a better place. All right, life happens through you. You are here for a reason, and if you have been through some tough stuff, you don't have to be a consumer anymore. You can be a contributor. You can use the lessons that you've learned from this stuff and share them with other people. That's what I'm doing. This is all that I'm doing. What hasn't killed you gives you a story to tell. So go and tell it. Life happens as me. Life happens as you. Talk about the pinnacle of self-awareness in life. All right? This is when you become untouchable. All right? When you're down here, life happens to you, you are touchable. You're not just touchable, you're already defeated. You're beaten because you've decided that you're beaten. All right? This is why people who've decided that they're beaten roll around outside mental health experts' offices looking for some medication or for a healer who can heal them. Right, then you've got other disempowered people, kind of like the blind leading the blind, and counsellors, and you've got cuddle therapists and all this kind of stuff. Over the years, I've seen it all. Right, I actually train counselling, I train coaching, I train cognitive behavioural therapy. I've studied all these disciplines and mastered them over the years for the purpose of understanding the human mind. I've actually got quite a bit of weight behind my words. If there's a psychological theory out there that I've not read, it's going to have to be a pretty brand new one, because I've read thousands of them. Right, a lot of them pretty nonsensical as well, may I just add. Right, this is an attitude. If you want to thrive in life, if you want more for your life tomorrow than what you're experiencing today, I'm going to urge you to entertain this idea. Give it some consideration, reflect upon it, because it's a reflection-worthy idea. I am fully responsible for me and no one else. And you are fully responsible for you. Disempowered people remain disempowered until they take responsibility for becoming the solution to their problems. Responsibility breeds personal empowerment. Personal empowerment is mental toughness. Personal empowerment is the backbone of resilience. Personal empowerment will flood your life the second that you decide that you alone are responsible for you. The second you take full responsibility for every single aspect of your life, you will become automatically responsible to drive the changes that you need to make today to generate the results and the outcomes that you want tomorrow. It's not as simple as that. Of course, you might have to put in a couple of years of hard work. Depends how deep a hole you've dug for yourself. All right, some people dig some pretty deep holes for themselves in life. Right, I did. Right, the hole I dug for myself, just to give you a little bit of context here, when I left the military, I can relate to Jack, I can relate to Darren, I can relate to the two brothers. All right, I served an interesting tour in Iraq. Right, so I went to war. I've witnessed people that I cared about, close friends, die. All right. I've seen some horrible things. I've done some horrible things. All right. It took me a couple of years to make peace with the things that I'd done and the things that I'd seen. In this time, I was confused. I felt a little bit anxious about my future. I felt a little bit sad about the past that I left behind. I felt uncertain about some of the things that I'd done. I wasn't clear on who I was. Having gone through this transition from military to civilian life, I asked questions like, who am I? What am I here for? Is there any reason that any of this stuff has happened? How do I make sense of this kind of stuff? And I realised, probably by my late 20s, that the reason I had to go through these few years of destitution, of hardship, alcoholism, drug addiction, gambling addiction, emotional turmoil, was so that I could live to tell the tale. And I've been telling that tale for around about 14 years now, and I've brought hope and inspiration to hundreds of thousands of people around the world. And I do not say this to impress you. I say this to impress upon you how important it is that you make peace with your past. Because until you've made peace with your past, you cannot effectively move forward on into your future. All right? And that's pretty much all that I really wanted to share with you in this video. Life happens as you. You are fully responsible for you, whether you take responsibility for yourself or not. See your emotions. They live inside of you. No one can change them. No one can heal them. No one can fix them. See your attitudes, your actions, your behaviours, your habits. Whether you deem yourself highly effective or highly inefficient. Your habits, your actions, your behaviours are influencing this. And all that's influenced by your general attitude and outlook on life. Everything's interconnected. So all that I'm really doing here is making those connections that I said I was going to make to help you better understand yourself. And of course I'm integrating a little bit of shock factor here because I'm here to wake you up. There's a lot of people going through life fast asleep, kind of like the Walking Dead. Come on, you can see it sometimes in people's eyes. People are living, but they're walking around completely disenfranchised, devastated, depressed, living empty lives because they don't know how to get more of what they want. So they commit to dead-end jobs they're completely unpassionate about. They remain sometimes in toxic relationships because they believe it's all that they're worthy of getting. So rather than taking risks and stepping outside the comfort zone and leaving all their junk behind and stepping into something greater, they make peace with what they have. They become comfortable in chaos. And this is all that low-level animalistic living looks like, which is senseless. Now that I've indicated and shown you how there can be so much more. You can be such a more efficient and such a more influential leader. You can be a better husband. You can be a better wife. You can become a more valuable individual that's respected and admired throughout your society. If you are but willing to entertain the idea of getting over your stuff, making peace with your past, dying to consumerism, changing your mind today,